Evening, everybody. Pop in, say hi. Make sure my sound is working good. I didn't even check my microphone, but I'm assuming that it's going to be good. This is a great microphone. If anybody's ever I know it's been on the market for a while, but it has served me so well. It has served me so well. This is the Yeti. This is the Blue Yeti, and I really, really, really like it. It's it was about 170 or $180 with and then taxes on top. Those Canadian money, so it's just about $200, I think, altogether with the taxes and everything. And I absolutely love it. And if I get a knock on that door, it's going to be one of the first things that I grab to take, right? The computer, this. I've got my trolley there, my dolly. It's got a couple of boxes, important boxes sitting on there. You know, the emergency stuff, right? I don't know what's going. I'm flying by the seat of my pants, right? I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I know something's going to happen, right? No matter what, we're here tomorrow in a different frame. Maybe, if my life might look a little bit different, and I would expect it to be, and I would hope it to be, because I'm ready for a big change. I'm ready for a big change this time, right? Every change I've made in my life has been a big change. And it's always come from a choice by making a choice. We can all take a look. And I was actually doing that, just thinking about the different impactful things that happened in my life, right? That actually put me on a different path. Hi, Dave. Holy moly. Dave made it here first tonight. Dave made it here first. How's your week been going, Dave? How's your week been going? Thirsty. I have a coffee. I have my Crystal Light. I'm on day number 12 of a 30-day no sugar challenge. So I expect I'm going to lose a little bit of weight, and that's my gold dress I've got hanging on the wall there. Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Those numbers are going up there, and I haven't been getting out. I try to go for my walks. I try to go for my walks in the evenings or in the afternoons, and I try to get a little stuff done around the house, but I'm just at a loss myself as to what to do, right? So I'm in the same boat, different boat, right? Roads a little bit different. Some of our boats have only got one oar, so we're just going in one circle, right? Or we're passing it off, right? Like this. We're all maneuvering through all this the best we can. I've been trying to keep in communication with a lot of my followers, the ones I have your emails. Dave, I must have your email. Do I not have your email? I'm not sure if I do. Like we've had communications and we've had chit chats off a line, so I must have it in a file somewhere. So I should try and see if I can compose a note and see if I can find that email address. The safest place, you know what? 100%. Wouldn't that be amazing? In a minute, if I had a vehicle, that's exactly what I would be doing. I would be doing my bushcraft videos again. I would do another season. All my bricks are sitting right there, ready to work on a fireplace. I would have been amazing if I could have done my own fireplace this past summer, right? And then I could have had it all toasty warm, because it didn't take me long at all to do a couple of walls using branches, just by cutting branches. So I could imagine, it wouldn't take me long at all to get that fort up and running. I think one of the top poles, I think, would need to be tightened up against the tree, because Ray went ahead and he cut a supporting branch, so it kind of went a little wonky. And so, yeah, if I tied that back up to the trunk of the tree, that would be solid. And I'd just use all those branches. And I would just make the most amazing Fort, right? For me, the hardest part would be to eat wild meat. I wish I had taken the opportunity, to get some garden seeds and stuff this past summer, like gone to the store and picked up some garden seeds. Dave made it before you did, Andrew. So yeah, I would have liked to have picked up some different garden seeds and stuff because you don't know what's coming. Everybody's talking about all kinds of wacky stuff, right? I try not to stay in any one conversation very long, but it's not one understanding. Everybody's got a different understanding of what's going on and how things are going to be when this is all over, and the politics of it all, of it all. How did your week go, Andrew? Did you have a good week? We did a live this past Wednesday. We did a live show this past Wednesday. I was just feeling like connecting a little bit more, right? I know the lives, I don't get a lot of the big views like I do on my explore videos, but you know what? I would think that the content that I'm putting out there is pretty optimistic, and there's a lot of great insight that I pick up from all over the place. And when I get these tips and stuff that I discover, and the things I read about and the things I figure out that actually help me out, and then I share it out there, right? Sooner or later, that's got to catch on. Yeah. I'm ready. Like I said, I'm ready for some big changes in my life. Yeah, that's what you were saying in your email, Andrew, that you were actually getting a mandatory check for the COVID virus. Yeah, I don't know how fast it's spreading in your area. Today we had 200 and something cases here in Manitoba. Well, our province has 800,000 people in our province, and our province covers just almost 90,000 kilometers. No, way more than that. Yeah, I forgot. I used to know how many square miles that our province actually covered, and now I'm just going totally blank on that. Yeah, I need to get on the road. I was actually saying in my Instagram live today that Elon Musk has actually got a program going on in Canada right now. He sent a satellite up into the atmosphere there, and Canadians in rural areas in Canada, they can now stay connected with the rest of the world through the internet and phones and stuff. So they have that technology now. And you actually have to just apply to get into the program. But I thought, well, because I do urban exploration, and even though I don't have a car right this moment, I will have a car shortly, right? I'm convinced of it. The Rubicon Jeep Wrangler Unlimited 2021 with the big bull bars and the big tires and the light rack. Yeah, I keep saying it, and some miracle will arise, and I'll get the car that I want. I really love that new Jeep. I like the way they combined the Sahara and the Wrangler together. It's a really, really sharp look. I really like it. And it's nice and big too. It would be perfect for me for camping, and it would be perfect for me to take out in the bush and stuff, right? It would make me feel really good to have a vehicle like that, but I'm sure that would cost me $400 or $500 a month for sure to insure. So I would have to find a cheap place to live in order to afford the insurance on that vehicle, right? And I went and I looked in and I saw that all the features I needed on that vehicle, Andrew, that you got to check for me. And the starting price was $49,000 after I did all the add-ons on what I needed on the vehicle. And that wasn't including the bull bar, and it wasn't including the running lights on top. but it did include the tires, and it was $69,000. You can buy a house in some parts of North America for that amount of money, right? That people spend on a vehicle, right? But I feel really safe, out on the back roads. When I'm out on the back roads, there's a big difference when you feel like you're actually feeling safe in your vehicle. I remember when I first got my Chevy Tracker, when it was brand new, how safe I felt going off on my own. I never worried about the truck breaking down and stuff. And then I had the Chevy Trax, and I wasn't a big fan of the Chevy Trax. I wasn't, to be honest. It was too small. It was supposed to be the next generation of the Chevy Tracker, and it didn't even have any features like the Chevy Tracker at all. My favorite part of the Chevy Tracker was actually the way the door opened up. It opened up like a regular door instead of being lifted up like this, right? Instead of being lifted up like this, it actually opened like a real door, and I really like that feature. And actually, this Jeep Wrangler, this Rubicon that I'm looking at, actually opens up that way too. So I'm pleased with that. But that Jeep is like three times the size of my little Tracker. My little Tracker was a little jungle buddy, but it sure was fun. And it sure was cheap on gas too. And I could get into any camping spots. And yeah, I could load it up with lots of people, load it up with all my camping gear. It was just the perfect little vehicle. I really, really loved my Chevy Tracker. Yeah. I would buy it again. They discontinued that one in 2004, right? 2004. And then my second favorite vehicle, well, I have a few favorite vehicles, right? But I have some that are secondhand ones that are discontinued that I would pick up because I could get them at a cheaper price. And then I have a couple of vehicles that I have in my mind, and I think, oh, if I could have that. And they're like my dream vehicles, like everybody else has their dream vehicles. What are your dream vehicles out there, you guys? What are your favorite vehicles? If somebody said you just won this vehicle, what would be the vehicle? Right? We all know that mine would be the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, right? But the Unlimited, right? Because just regular Rubicon is just a little shorty truck, right? And I want the big one with the big cab. Yeah, for sure. I know, 69,000. It's a lot. It's a lot of money, right? You're right on that, Dave. You're right on that. They shared the design. It was a jungle bunny from South America, and Tracker, and what was the other one? The CRV. It was the CRV. But then the Tracker became discontinued, but you can still get the updated CRVs. It doesn't look like the old Tracker in any way, but yeah, you're right. You're 100% right about that. It was a South American jungle buggy that they shared the design. But the thing about that one was the undercarriage on that. The steel wasn't strong enough, and it was always having to be welded. And once the frame was gone on the vehicle, it was no good. So there's not a lot of those vehicles on the road, right? My girlfriend has it, but she loves her truck so much that every time that it needs a weld on the frame, she just spends that money, or she has a mechanic who does it for her, but she invests in that vehicle. So I really, really hope when she's done with that vehicle that it comes to me, because she said I could have first dibs on it. Cord. I've never heard of that one, the 1936 Cord. I'm going to write that down, Andrew, and I'm going to take a look at it after the live. That would be interesting. I loved my 1977 Toyota Sleek. I always thought I would like another one, but souped up. You have to get them in the States, because here in Canada in the mid 80s, they had a program that if you turned in your vehicle, you could turn in your vehicle. Oh, you had to turn in your vehicle. If your vehicle was 1970 or older, it had to be 1980 or older. It had to be safetied, or it couldn't be allowed to be on the road. And my Toyota Celica, there was no way it was going to pass any kind of safety on it, right? Because the side panels came up when you drove along the highway. It thought it was a plane, right? Because all the rivets were gone, just the top rivet. So every time I picked up speed, the wind would pick them up and I would look like a little plane driving down the highway. It was so funny. I thought for sure those panels would whip off, because it was part fiberglass, part metal at that time, right? Hi, Nancy. Aw. Yeah. Andrew did a kindness for Nancy this past week. He sent her some money so she could keep her internet and her phone going and have a Thanksgiving dinner. I showed Andrew I showed him the pictures that you sent me. I took a screenshot of them and then I sent them off to Andrew so he could see your Thanksgiving dinners and the groceries that you bought. And I told him that you paid your bills off and stuff. So he was really pleased that you decided to put the money on your bills. Yeah. I have the greatest subscribers here. I have the greatest followers. Everybody just treats everybody so well and with so much kindness, right? So much kindness. It warms my heart when I see that, right? Especially when Nancy, she's gone through such a hard time, and then to have these miracles, these little miracles happen in the past couple of weeks, right? And things starting to look a little bit better. Aw, SpaghettiOs, that would have been sad. You should have seen the pictures that William sent me. He DM'd me and he sent me all the pictures of all the dishes he made. Holy moly, I didn't know that, but William is a chef for sure. And he made an awful lot of food. He made more food for more people than just himself. So I don't know if he was entertaining people or not, but everybody is doing this differently. You're either ignoring the laws and ignoring the safety part of it, or you're going all in and you're trusting and trusting and trying to make sure that the rules are met, right? And Sharon, I heard from Sharon Wolf this week, and I haven't heard from Sharon in over a month. And she's doing okay. Thanksgiving she spent by herself with the cat, but her son and his partner actually were coming up to visit her for the day, and they were just going to go for a walk in the park for an hour or so. So she did get to see her son for Thanksgiving. So that was really nice for her to touch base. And she wrote the nicest letter to me. She said the kindest things. I just couldn't believe such kind things, right? That she had said, right? And it just made me feel really good. It just made me feel really good. It just made me feel like I was on the right path, and that I was probably a half decent person after all, right? Sometimes I'm pretty tough on myself, like we all are, right? Like we all are. We're all pretty tough on ourselves. SpaghettiOs. Yeah, I didn't do anything for Thanksgiving. I didn't do anything for my birthday. I didn't do anything for Remembrance Day. Remembrance Day isn't a celebration, but usually, like, my mother died on that day, right? So maybe, we would have gone to visit her, but probably not, because I had never visited my mom. But I was actually thinking about it, of going to visit my mom. I was watching, and his name's Hans. Oh, I can't remember Hans. Oh, darn, I can't remember his name. But he was talking about people when they pass away, that sometimes they're afraid to leave their bodies, right? That they stay in the graves, at the grave sites, and they stay with their bodies, and that sometimes the angels come down to take them away, but because they're afraid and because they don't know what the angels are, what they're doing there and stuff, that they just stay with their bodies for eternity all the time, right? So I thought, oh, well, maybe, I could go to the graveyard and just let people know, right? It doesn't hurt, and let people know that they could move on. If anybody comes by to say, hey, follow me, we got places to go, like, just to trust them and just to go forward. I thought I could do that, because maybe my mother is one of those people that are trapped with her body, right? And she hasn't been able to move on. And this was something he was putting forth in his minds. And I wish I remember what his last name was, right? Everybody's talking about their Thanksgiving meals, right? All our bachelors, right? All the ones that just kept their meals simple. And then some of us might have done big meals, right? I know a lot of my friends already are starting their Christmas baking and everything. And I know my sister is putting on Christmas no matter what. So I don't know what I'm going to do there, because you can't just kind of show up for like 2 minutes, say hi, and then take off, right? And I would have to probably walk there. I would probably have to walk there, and that's quite a walk. But it would be a nice walk for Christmas morning. It would be a nice walk up there. Oh, okay. Here in Manitoba, we have a lot of those old cemeteries in the old towns and everything. And I always wondered how nice and peaceful it would be if I could actually be buried in one of those little cemeteries. But you never see new graves in there, right? You never see new graves in there. They're always really, really old graves. So I'm assuming that you're not allowed to be buried in them. But I guess it doesn't hurt to inquire, right? Maybe all you need is a special license, and maybe just have to go through the right platforms, right? To make sure it's done properly. Yeah, I get you on that one, Andrew. I get you. Yeah, and then again, like Dave was saying here, that our Thanksgiving was last month. It was over a month ago, and it's what made our coronavirus spike really high, right? Our coronavirus numbers went absolutely cuckoo, and the whole country practically got shut down. And even one of the territories who never even had one case is now got an epidemic. Yeah, now they have more cases than anybody up north now. And they didn't have any cases for 8 months, 9 months. They went the whole since May, and they got their first cases just this past month. So that was a little bit disheartening too. But I'm convinced this is all coming to an end really soon, right? That vaccine is going to be coming out, and I'm in that bracket. I don't know who else out there is in that bracket, but we should get our shots as a priority, because we are in that vulnerable age bracket that people end up having problems when they get the virus, right? I'm going to assume that President Trump got over his coronavirus pretty fast, right? He must have, in order to have done the junket for, or the circuit for the election. He wasn't at his best too, health wise and stuff. You got to take that into consideration too when the elections were going on. But yeah, if you've never been on my channel before, this is Chatters Live. We explore the inside and the out. We do some exploring, and we also do some inner looking, and we support each other. People have issues and things that they're dealing with during the course of the week and stuff. They just kind of jump in the chatter, and I've got some great moderators with some great insight who are rookies, are not rookies. They are experts at this now. Old rookies at this, because, you know, they can surround a person, no problem, and lift them up so fast, right? Yeah. I'd like to see Robert come in tonight too, right? Because we haven't seen Robert in the past couple of weeks. I'd like to know how Robert's been doing. Oh, and here's Melvin. Hi, Melvin. Yeah. Sitting in the background. Yeah, but you know, we just stirred you up there, right? Yeah. But yeah, never feel like you're ever being stifled, Melvin. You got something on your chest and you need to get it off. You just go right ahead and you take it off. And, you know, if the moderators don't think it is appropriate, they'll just put a little bit of a hide it until I say it's okay, right? Because I have a little button here. I just push and I'll just go, oh, that's okay. That's okay. You know? Right. And that's because there's just too much of stifling people these days, right? People have been trained not to actually be brave enough to get off their chest what they want to say. Even with me and my ideas and stuff, I quite often have a hard time expressing myself because I wonder, right? Because I have ideas that other people don't have about life, you know? I have other insights, and I have things that take my interest, right? That a lot of people that would shake their head and say, I don't understand, right? Right? Why is she taking off like that on her own? A 60-year-old female, right? 59, let's not push it. I'm 59. 59. I shouldn't be saying 60. I certainly shouldn't be doing that because that makes me feel old. But hi, Melvin. Hi, Melvin. You pop in, let us know where you're from, right? Say hi. Give me a thumbs up. That would be nice because YouTube will catch that and move this content out to other people who might be looking for a little bit of company or a little place to hang out on Sunday nights and stuff. We talk about all kinds of things here, right? All kinds of things. Actually, Nancy was just showing her appreciation because, you know, one of our subscribers here actually helped her out. She was in a terrible bind, and somebody helped out and did her a great kindness and helped Nancy go. I thought that was just the absolute sweetest thing, Andrew. That was just really, really thoughtful of you, right? But make sure that that's the froth always off your mug, anything that's coming off the top of your mug, right? Because you got to keep your own glass full because you're no good to anybody, and we need you. We need you, Andrew, right? We need you, right? You're an important part of this. You're an important part of this channel, right? So we don't ever want you to get yourself in a situation where you're going to be in trouble too. Mind you, for sure, we would pass the cup around for you, though. You know we would. You know we would. Well deserved though, Andrew. Well deserved. Like, you know, you have some amazing values. You have some amazing insight when it comes to what people need, right? You look behind the lines, you look between the lines, and you just know the perfect things, right? Even in your words, when you send me letters and stuff like that, it's like exactly what to say, what to make people feel better, what it takes, right? That takes a lot of intuition, and that takes a lot of right? It takes a lot of heart there, Andrew. It's so appreciated that you just don't take care of me, but you take care of the flock, right? Where's our Mr. Lopez, right? Father Lopez, right? He's what do they call that? They call him the oh, I can't remember. The Happy Hermit, something like that. But he's a Franciscan monk, right? And we haven't heard from him in the past couple of weeks either. I would like to know if he got his icon that I sent him. I mailed him off an icon, and yeah, it would be nice to know whether or not he got it. But it would just be nice to know that he's doing okay, right? I don't have his email. Mind you, I do have his DM, so I know I could probably shoot him a DM or something, and I'm sure he would respond. So yeah, that's something for me to make a note here, just to check on David, right? And I haven't spoken to Kathy in the past couple of days. Mind you, she's been in my content on Instagram. I know she's been around, but I haven't actually had a chit chat with her or anything. But she's healing up from an operation too. She last time I checked, she's doing well too. We are locked down here in the province, and we're just trying to manage. We're just trying to get those numbers down. They're coming down a little bit, but they're still pretty high. But we're coming out of Thanksgiving, and that really, really hurt us. Our numbers really spiked right after Thanksgiving. Yeah, so I'm hoping and I'm praying for everybody in the States that the same didn't happen over there, but I'm going to assume that it did, because yeah, we were pretty careful here, and those viruses still took form. And the worst thing is when they got into the old folks home, right? They got our senior citizens are having such a hard time right now with that virus, because they just don't have the capacity to fight it, right? They just don't have the capacity to fight it. But 80, 90 years old, like that's a good life. You got to think. I know it's sad for the families, but you got to think, how grateful can you be to know that you had 90 years on this earth, right? And if you're lucky, you'll be back in the next couple of years. You'll be back in the next couple of years with a different story, with a different adventure in life, right? Yeah, that would be amazing. I would like to see that happen. I mixed all my cards here. I was going to pull some cards, but they're all mixed up. So I guess I just shuffled them the wrong way earlier. They came up properly in the reading. So yeah, I did. I just do a couple of card pulls for my Instagram, right? But I plan on my second channel to actually do full readings. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I've been working with this Oracle deck, which I really like. A lady at work got it for me. And then I went ahead and I picked up the fairy deck, right? But the lady at work, she gave me where is it? Oh, this one. She gave me this deck. And this is the deck that I've been pulling cards from my lives, right? Only because it's full of self-esteem and self-worth. And so is the fairy deck, and that's why I chose the fairy deck. Besides the fact that they have the most beautiful artwork on these set of tarot cards. I'll just show you a couple of the cards just so you can see how pretty these cards are, right? Just so you can see how pretty they are. Can you see that? Ooh, let's come down here. Let it focus a little bit. Yeah, focus a little bit. We'll see. Just a few, just so you can see how beautiful her cards are. She had a great artist in her cards, right? She had a great artist. Here, two more. Yeah, two more. And I don't use this deck. I said every day I have to try once, right? I have to try once to use these cards and do a reading. And they're hard. These ones are more in depth. I found that they're more in depth. And because I like to read into the artwork too, right? I don't just not what the card represents and just not what the special message is on the card, but I also like to read the beautiful artwork. And each set of cards actually comes with a book, right? So you get a book, and even if you've never done tarot before, it's an easy thing to pick up. So if you might be interested in something like this might help you so that you don't have to go to work. You could maybe start a little business or something. Come this summer, I am just going to plant myself a little table and a couple of chairs in the park, and I'm just going to do card readings, right? I'll do quick 10-minute card readings for $25 each. I'll do a half-hour reading for $50 and just start me out until I build myself a name and get myself a little shop. And I was thinking, I had this idea of a little shop, and I actually do the shop up like an old Victorian library in the dark mahogany and the beautiful artwork and the books, but nice and spacious, nothing cluttered, maybe with a nice couple of couches, right? A couple of nice couches and nice chairs and stuff, so that ladies can relax when I do readings or I do groups, right? I can do groups or something. But these are ideas. I throw them around in my head. I'm full of ideas with no money to get started. And that's why I thought about the tarot, because I have the cards already, right? I can do tarot now. I'm ready to go. Well, I'm ready to go on this set of decks, this set of cards too, right? Plus, I go into a flow. I go into a flow too, and I bring my mindset, my mindfulness into my readings, right? But yeah, I'm trying to do a good job. Whatever I do, I always try to do a good job. Okay, let's look at some of these comments here. Card playing skills. I haven't played cards for the longest time. And I used to play euchre with my husband. My husband loved euchre, so he'd invite all the friends over and we would play euchre. And me and my husband were a really, really good team. We were a good team with euchre. Yeah, people always wanted to break us up, right? Because they couldn't figure out that we were just so in tune with each other. We knew how we would play. How the other person would play their cards, right? But yeah, euchre was a fun game for me. I liked cribbage too. I still have my crib board, right? I still have my crib board and pegs. But yeah, I'd have to have a quick refresher on that. It would take me a couple of minutes I would let the first person shuffle, and after the first shuffle, I would be fine. I would have the first. So I probably not get as many points as unless I really fluked out on my first hand, but come second hand, I will have picked it all up all over again. I just need a quick reminder sometimes, right? Hi, Owen. Yeah, I haven't played cards for a long time. And like I said, I used to play euchre with my husband, and I used to play cribbage quite a bit in my 20s, right? When we were bored. But then VHSs came out, and all that time. And we can yell and complain about the kids on the video games and stuff, but I remember myself when VHS and the video store became a popular. I would do night fasts, right? I didn't have to work. I would start watching movies and eating munchies and stuff, and it would just be one movie after another. And I worked in a video store too. I used to manage a video store. And I would take stacks and stacks of movies home. I would have like 20 or 30 movies sitting at home all at all times, right? At all times. I didn't pay for any of my movies, right? If I had a new release, I'd have to bring it back to work the next morning. They couldn't lose a sale, but I was more than welcome to take it home. If it didn't rent, then I could just take it home and bring it back when I came back to work the next day. And I got all the new releases months and months before they even came out onto video, so I got to see all the new movies, right? Yeah. When was that? That was when what were the first movies? So if I can see how far we can go back, when the diehards first came out, that's when I was working in the video store there. I really enjoyed that job. I really enjoyed the full-time work, having full-time pay. I enjoyed that it was the walks there and the walks home were really, really nice. At that time that's when I lost all that weight. I was 311 pounds and I lost 160 pounds. But that was walking to work in the morning and walking home at night, right? And yeah, I had my best friend Brian, so we didn't do much. We were pretty much he was interested in was drinking and watching movies pretty much, right? We did lots of adventures and camping and stuff, right? But he mostly did that because that's this kind of stuff that I like to do, right? And yeah, he was my best friend for years and years and years. Oh my gosh, for at least 6 years. We had so much fun together, but then we both changed. We both did, like I said, I lost a lot of weight and I started dating and stuff. And then I met my husband, and my husband was in the military, and Brian was with a different group altogether. And in the whole, I think probably I might have gone down that same path. Probably not, because alcohol never interested me ever, right? So, somebody who was going to turn into an alcoholic or something, that would have never happened to me, because I never even had an inkling to go in that direction, even though I had a grandfather who was a chronic alcoholic. I had a grandfather, he was one of those ones that slept in the bus shacks, right? That was my grandfather on my dad's side. My grandmother used to keep kicking him out of the house, right? And I know for the last few decades of her life, or the last couple of decades at the very least, she was having none of him anymore. But he was still coming around. Right? But alcohol, yeah, my grandpa was a mean drunk. He would say really, really mean things to my dad. And right, it wasn't good, right? Yeah. Alcoholism is not a good thing. So even though I didn't drink myself, my friends all drank, my grandfather drank, right? Right? My sisters drank. I drank too, but it was more like social, kind of like, oh, it's Friday night kind of thing, and you're going off to the bar with your friends and stuff. And this is before I worked at the bars. I hung out at the bar I ended up working at for 10 years before I actually started working there. It was my hangout. Like I said, I've lived in this neighborhood ever since I've been in Winnipeg. I've lived in different places, but I have always lived in this neighborhood. And I've actually lived in this specific apartment for 25 years. For 25 years, I've lived in this apartment. And now I'm squeezed out. My own doing, right? My own doing. But yeah, I have to be out of there. But you know what? I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for a change. And as hairy scary as I know it's going to be, and as problem problematic, right? Problematic it is. It has to be done. It has to be done. I'm going to feel 100 times better once it's over and done with too, right? Okay, let's look back on some of these comments. Ah, You're right there, Andrew. You're right there. There have been people that I always thought would be a part of my life, that I thought would be around forever and ever and ever, and they would never change. But they just phase out, right? They just go off, and and it's not like anything major or drastic ever happened. It's just people change, people's interests change, right? And people move on. Yeah, don't ever feel bad. Like, when you're ready to leave me, right? Just consider it like you're a little chickadee and you're being pushed out of the nest, and you're all good and you can just take care of things on your own. Yeah. That would make me happy, right? That would make me happy. But at the same time, I love my company here, right? I love that you guys have been with me all this time, and you watch me in the pursuit of my dreams as I chase after whatever I'm doing, and how I love working in social media, and how you guys just all follow me along. I love that. My throat's getting sore now. I did 3 lives today. And this one's the last ones were over a half an hour. No, maybe not. One was over a half an hour, and the other one was maybe 15 minutes today. It was a shorter one, but because I knew that I was coming on live tonight, right? Oh, Owen, do you think so? I don't know how you could possibly think that, but that makes me grateful if you actually think that way. That's like a really sweetest thing. That's like the best thing anybody could ever say to me, is something like that. That's very sweet of you. Thank you very much. Very kind. Right? Sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes all you need, right, Owen? Right, Andrew? Right, guys? Sometimes all we need is just somebody to kind of hang out with, and just kind of be there when things aren't going so great, right? Sometimes that's all we need, is just somebody just to kind of hang out through the tough times. But I feel things are going to start getting better for everybody, right? Have you given any thought, Owen, to your future? Like, there's going to come a time when your mom's not going to be here with you, right? And have you been giving yourself some thought there? Have you been making some plans and things, right? Thinking things through and thinking what you would like to do with your life, right, Owen? I was actually thinking of that the other day. I came across Oh, that's what I was doing. I was adding emails to my journey. I have a file, and it's just called the journey, and I add nice emails and nice comments and short notes and stuff. And I actually saw something of yours, Owen, in my Save the Journey section, right? So, you're really important to my channel. So, you being able to move forward too a little bit, as we're all watching Cindy chase her dreams down, right? And she may chase them down, she may not. You never know. But you know what? It's the pursuit of it, right? It's the pursuit of it. And you know what? It's gotten me through some hard times, and as much as the pressure was on there to give up my social media, there wasn't an inkling in my mind to ever do that. And there still isn't an inkling in my mind to give up on that, even though I do get pushback, right? Even though I do disappoint myself and I do fail myself, right? I always get right back up and I keep hacking away at it, right? And that's the very best that we could do. I couldn't wish for anything more. It's a hard journey, for sure. It's a hard journey, right? Oh, Andrew, yeah. Right. And that's what it is, Andrew. Right? It's sharing the memories, sharing the journeys, sharing the memories and the experiences, and just keeping in touch with each other. There are even people that have been in my network that I thought that, I was going to be really good friends with, and we were going to keep in contact, and we were going to chit chat all the time and help move each other forward, and right? Just fizzled out, fizzled out. And then, if you don't have an interest in their topic, then you're not going to stick around, right? To somebody who's not interacting with you in any way, right? So it was that relationship that was enjoyable, but people move on. Like you said, Andrew, people move on all the time, right? And I have friends right now that I haven't seen in ages and ages, but I know everything would be good. There would be lots and lots of hugs. Well, maybe not hugs with the coronavirus, right? But there would be some genuine hellos and some genuine caring and how are yous and stuff and trying to catch up on the best you can, right? Knowing that you might not see each other again for a couple of years, right? But that's the way it goes. And then there's other people, when they're ready to move on, they have to make it into a big drama. They have to turn it into something big. They gotta turn it into you're wrong or I've had enough. I'm out of here, right? And they need to turn it into a big thing rather than honoring the friendship that it was, right? Because it served a purpose. At some point, it served a purpose for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been involved in that relationship, right? So instead of honoring the relationship and saying thank you very much for, that time, those difficulties that I got through because you were kind of hanging out there with me and stuff, right? And then that just gets trashed and then it means nothing, right? But yeah, and that's really nice to hear, right? That's really nice to hear. But okay. And just live on your own and do like the gardening and piddle around with the radios and just live a quiet, stress-free life. That sounds nice, right? I'm a kind of aggressive kind of person, right? I just want everybody to experience what I experienced, even if it's just vicariously through my own actions, right? But yeah, that it sounds like a nice life. And I would love to have a little bit of land for myself too. I would love to have a little piece of land where I could just build a little something, a little retreat or something. But the thing is, my whole big plan is to invest in a retreat, right? A nature retreat, a mindfulness mindset convention retreat out nowhere land, right? Just so where people could get away, where I could actually put, like they do for Boy Scouts and stuff, where we can raise money. Like I could have big conventions and stuff for the big names and stuff, but with that money that I make, that I could bring in small groups, I could bring in kids and stuff where we could actually give them a head start on mindfulness, or the parents can send their teenagers, right? And we could teach them, right? Ethics and epigenetics and right, get them well set it in their mindset and their mindfulness. That would make me really, really happy. But that takes years and years, right? And it just builds up. But let's just start with a vehicle for now. If I can get a vehicle, then this year I could actually just travel to different crystal mines and collect crystals and start selling them online. And then maybe next year get a piece of property if I think it's going to work, right? Then get a piece of property, right? And in the whole time, I'll be uploading those adventures, right? Those will be my explore videos, my trip into Northern Ontario or Northern Manitoba, wherever the mines are and stuff, and my experiences out in the bush, out in the wilderness, and digging up the amethysts and getting the foundations ready for my nature retreat and conference center and building little cabins. And I would build myself a nice house. I think a modern house with lots of solar paneling. I'd want it to be self-sufficient so that if anything happened in the world, that I would be able to take care of myself up there if I was trapped up there, right? I would probably have a small community with whether or not it's employees and right because it would be an all year retreat that would be flying in, right? In the summertime on the lake and in the wintertime, well, on the lake, but it's frozen, right? But fly in and yeah, have different events and stuff happen there. And then, make it like a vacation retreat for people that they could come in and unwind. Make sure that it's a no-kill zone, right? No-kill zone, because that means no fishing included, no fishing, even though we do have trophy fishing here, but I wouldn't allow any fishing because it's a no-kill zone, right? But I have dreams, I have goals, right? I want to start traveling the states and I want to start doing, different conferences and different meetups and different workshops and stuff. And I want to interact more with the kind of people that are interested in the topics that I'm interested in, you know? Well, I've been looking at the little trailers and stuff the past couple of days, right? Because that's what I think I would like to do is just get on the road, right? Just get on the road for a little bit and unwind and get over all this stuff and do a little bit of exploring and unwinding, right? I've had too many years of just stress, 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 stress. And even though there have been periodics at times of lots of happiness and joy and lots of fun, right? There has been just a little bit too much stress and it's time for a nice little break for me, but not really a break because I'll film it all and everything, so there'll be lots of adventures for video and stuff. So even though I say like go on vacation and stuff, I'll still be doing all that videoing and stuff, so it really would make a difference to my brand because no matter what, the brand goes, right? The brand keeps going. Have a nice little community, eh, Nancy? Like gypsies. We could just have little caravans of our own, all of us with different styles. You never know. You never know what miracles happen. You never know that all it does. I was actually even looking at that too. Somebody who was making campers out of that corrugated plastic, and they were making campers for pedal bikes and they were really neat too. You could sleep in them. They had a little stove in there. They had lighting and drawers and shelving, yeah, for one person on a bike. Yeah, I don't think I have taken a serious break since I started on YouTube. And actually I know for sure I haven't. I haven't been consistent, but even though I haven't been consistent, I have been working towards it. So even if it hasn't been in the front, it's been in the background, right? It's been on the back end of my channel. I've always been busy. Every day I put time into my brand every single day, no matter what. Well, technically, they evicted me on October 1st. They didn't tell me until October 21st. They gave me my eviction notice on October 1st or October 21st, but officially they said that I was evicted on October 1st. It would have been nice if they had let me know, but yeah, they're covering their bases, right, when it comes towards rentalsmen and stuff. But I agree. Like, do what you have to do, and I'll do what I have to do in order to keep a roof over my head. I'm sure, just like your situation, Nancy, like nobody can be booted out of their apartments. At least during the pandemic time, it's not safe to do so. And I did phone yesterday or the day before the housing because now my situation is more scarier situation. And when I filled out the application to get into housing, some of those main questions they asked me right at the beginning was about my housing situation right now, whether I had roofing, was I homeless, was my housing threatened, all different questions, right? But at that time, I had a roof over my head. So I was actually thinking, I said, well, maybe I should phone to see, because now my circumstances have changed. I'm in a more of a desperate situation. And because of those questions at the beginning of my application, maybe it would seem reasonable that maybe I might be able to be pushed up on the list, right? And when I phoned to ask, I waited in line because it's a queue, obviously, right? So I waited for my turn. And when I came online, I just said, hi. I says, I'm in a pretty bad situation. The roof over my head is being threatened, and I could end up homeless. I'm on the waiting list. I said, and even before I could finish the sentence, he's going, listen, lady, nobody gets to jump in front of the line. And I just like, I didn't mean it that way, right? Even though I thought, right? But it just seemed reasonable to me to think that because my circumstances had changed and it put me in more of a priority list, that maybe they could change it, right? So he was pretty quick with me, and yeah, I asked him his name, and I ended that conversation shortly, and yeah, so I don't know what my next move is, but like I said, it's on my top of my mind. I'm waiting for my intuition to take over. I'm waiting for that amazing insight to hit me to say, okay, that's the plan, right? That's the plan. And maybe I'm missing the signs. I don't know, but yeah, I don't want to be sitting here and then be in a situation where I can only take out what I can carry, and then I lose all my stuff. Wouldn't that be heartbreaking? Right? That would be heartbreaking. And then I would just have to stand up and brush myself off and say, oh, well, serves me right. Like, I got myself in that situation. It serves me right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a different situation that we're in right now. The government's not going to allow any bullying or anything. I know it's a business, and they need their money. My intent is not to stiff anybody their money, but obviously you can't get milk out of a dry cow, right? And I hate to put it that way. I've got $1,000. I have $1,000, right? But that $1,000, if they can figure out a way to get rid of me, right? And I end up on the street, what am I going to do without that money? So when I was working, the plan was just to put $500 into that account, right? Every 2 weeks, so that by the time it was time for me to leave, I could pay them off and then have enough money to put a down payment and first month's rent down, right? But now I'm not working again. Well, that $1,000, it just might have to be the money that I live on, right? Because I had no choice. I had to put a little bit of money on my phone. I had to put a little bit of money on my internet, right? Just to keep those things going. Those things are a priority. I have to stay in touch with the world, right? And of course, I'm committed to my brand at the same time. So no matter what, those utilities have to be paid for, right? Yeah, it's not. I'm ready to move, Andrew. I'm ready to move. I don't feel good about myself being here now, right? After a while, and after our few conversations and our interactions, I truly don't want to be here anymore either. I'm the type of person who who's not particular on change, right? If I had my choice, things would be the same all the time. I like change, but it's hard for me to initiate it. So I kind of need a little boot in the butt. I need the change to meet me head on in order to be forced into getting things done. It's a little bit of a trait of mine. Lots of times I can let ideas sweep me up because they're exciting. Ooh, here comes the phone. Come on in. I'm doing my live right now. Is that Kevin?
Yeah, do you want me to come back now?
If you give me 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes, that's good.
Sure.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my neighbor. That's my neighbor, Kevin. He's
I brought you some apple pie.
Oh, I can't. You got to take it. I'm on a 90-day no sugar challenge. Kevin, that was nice of you, though. He brought me apple pie. And I can't eat apple pie, right? Because I'm on a 90-day no sugar challenge. I have the sweeter's name. Every single one of them knows the situation that I'm in, right? You know, they give me coffee, they give me groceries, they do little kind things for me and stuff, and yeah, very, very sweet and very much appreciated, right? Yeah. So every once in a while we get together and we have a little bit of a chit chat too, right? We have a little bit of a chit chat because, you know, he has the same things that I do. He struggles with a lot of the same things that I do for different reasons, right? So there would be different solutions for him than the solutions that would be for me. But, you know, sometimes, like I said, sometimes all you can do is, you know, talk, cry, right? And time. And that's what takes care of things in the end, right? And that's what takes care of things. Yeah. You know, lots of us, we get settled, right? Lots of us don't like change at all. And some of us go through so much change that change is forced on us, and we get so much change that we actually can't manage any more change, right? And like my dad used to say, if it's not broke, why fix it? If your living situation is good, you're content with that. It's convenient for work, convenient for your family, right? Price wise, it's convenient for the lifestyle that you live. It's convenient. Why make those changes, right? Why make those changes? Yeah, that was nice of him, Owen. That was nice of him. Yeah, he's my neighbor. He's my neighbor who lives downstairs. But yeah, we just go off. Sometimes we go over to the school across the street and we'll sit on the cement blocks there and we'll have conversations and you know, sometimes he'll come up here, not very often, right? But sometimes he'll come up here and he'll sit around for half an hour and we'll have a chit chat, right? You know, and he's been here as long as I have. He's been in this building as long as I have. Actually, everybody in this building, we only have 2 suites that come up for rent because these suites are such a score, right? These suites are so cheap, so convenient, right? My big, beautiful picture window. I really, really hope I can find a place with a window that has as pretty of a view as the one that I have now, right? But it is what it is. Right. But even if you talk to yourself, that's why it's important. Like when people hang out with themselves, when people are just with themselves, guys, you have to write, right? You have to sit down. That's why I say, like, you know, start writing a book or start writing in a journal and stuff. You guys, if you don't have somebody to talk to, that's the best way to get the talking out of the way, right? Because talking is a big part of the healing, right? You know, especially, you know, for Owen, it's been Owen and his mom, and, you know, he's going to have such a crash when his mother passes, right? Because he's so used to taking care of his mother's needs. He's got a routine set in place, right? And when he doesn't have to get up in the morning to do that routine, it's going to hit him like a brick. It's going to hit him like a brick, right? So yeah, we have to prepare. We have to give thought. Like there's nothing worse than getting a surprise, right? The best way is to get used to the idea. And maybe that was part of me getting the boxes packed and putting up against the wall the past couple of months, right? Just getting that out of the way, getting myself psyched up. Actually, that's a good insight right there. That's exactly what I've been doing, getting myself psyched up for something that's probably going to be a little bit heartbreaking for me, which is kind of strange because I remember the first day I moved into this apartment, the first time that I moved into this apartment, I bawled my eyes out. It was such a pigsty. It was such a hole. I never lived beneath myself like that for the longest time, right? It was just a miserable dingy little apartment, and I was just miserable. Oh, I cried and cried. I didn't unpack my boxes, nothing. I just laid in bed and I cried for like 3 days until I just kind of, that's it. That's it. And I got one of these attitudes and I shook myself clean and I unpacked my house and I spent a couple of days cleaning and then I went out to the bar, right? And then I started up that life all over again, right? And I just decided that I was just going to, I don't know, look for husband number two, or I was going to get pregnant, or I didn't care. Emotionally, I was heartbroken and I really didn't have a plan except to try to enjoy my life as much as I could. And yeah, that's exactly what I did. Yeah. Oh, because comfortable, right? When you're too comfortable, you're at a standstill. You won't do anything because we all search out comfortability, right? Right? But that doesn't mean not being happy. That just means being active, right? But you have lots of things, Andrew, that you do, that you enjoy, that you know, you love your reading, right? You do lots of things, but you're like me that way. You like to spend that time and thought on your own. That's true too, right? Having somebody to talk to, right? Because I know with myself, I know I did it again. I know with myself, right, that I have a different kind of mindset now, that I would like to have these really, really deep conversations. Like, there are a few people that I follow, right? And I think, oh, I could just jump into this conversation and give my insight and save the day I've got going on in my head, but not always. Sometimes it's just a matter of we want to be seen and we want to be heard, and you want people to know that you're around, right? That you matter, and that's all it is. Lots of us are content to be on our own. I think about it all the time because I'm alone all the time. I spend so much time by myself, right? I haven't even been in a relationship for even a casual relationship. I haven't been in one for oh a decade anyway, at least 10 years, right? So that's a long time. That's a lot of waste of time, right? Yeah, I like my time for myself. I truly do. Even when I was married, I used to like having the bed for myself, right? I used to like, because I'd work the night shift when I worked in the bar and he would work in the military. So when I got home from work, it would be like 4:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning. I would just piddle around, do up the dishes, make my husband's lunch for work and stuff. And he would be up at 6 o'clock in the morning and we would spend an hour together, right, before he took off to work. And then I would crawl into bed and I would have the bed for my whole self till 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I would get up out of bed, right? Get up out of bed and start getting dinner ready before I had to head off to work, before I headed off to work, right? But it was good because even though me and my husband didn't have the same interests, he liked to drink. He liked to hang out at the bar and stuff too. So, when I was working, he was always hanging out. He was always there with me and everything, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't make phone calls at all. I can't remember the last phone call I picked up or the last phone call I have made. I don't use my phone very much. It's been months and months for sure. For sure it's been months. I use my phone to phone my sister. That's what I do. My sister Carolyn, I'll give her a phone call every once in a while if I'm going to be in her neighborhood because the grocery store is there. So sometimes I'll check to see if she's going to be home before I move on, right? Yeah, but actually, I was sitting there and I was looking here to see, right? What was everybody's favorite movie of all time? You only get one choice in a movie. You only get one choice in a movie. And then I'll tell you what my favorite movie was. It's going to be a hard one. It'll be one or two, but yeah, I know what my favorite movie is. I haven't seen it in the longest time. Maybe it's time for me to pull it up online and watch it. I'd love to hear what you guys have for a favorite movie. I could guess what kind of movies that you might like, Because I'm thinking Owen might be the type of guy that likes those old black and white war movies, right? Maybe even Melvin too would like those old black and white old war movies, right? Or the westerns with John Wayne. Yeah, I could see the guys liking those ones too. Andrew, definitely dramas and sagas for Andrew. He would be more of the long stories, the family trilogies and stuff, something like Roots. I could see Andrew Andrew watching. Finian's Rainbow, Nancy. I loved that movie. I loved that movie. That was oh, don't say his name, don't say his name, don't say his name. He recently passed away too. He was a singer and dancer. His name was I forgot. I forgot. You got to tell me who it is because it's going to drive me crazy. Yeah, I'm stuck there. I'm stuck. I could see him clearly. I could see his face clearly, clearly in my thing. But I remember he did that Singing in the Rain, right? What was his name? The gentleman from Singing in the Rain. See, I thought that. I thought you would love sagas. Gene Kelly, right, Andrew, right? I used to love and the gentleman, the redheaded guy. What was the name of the redheaded guy he used to do movies with? I loved him. Danny Kaye. I love Danny Kaye. He was one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites. I love Danny Kaye. I love the Ma and Pa Kettle movies too. I love the Ma and Pa Kettle movies. 12 o'clock high. That was a Western. Wasn't that a Western, Dave? 12 o'clock high? Yeah, my favorite. But Finian's Rainbow. I remember that movie, a musical, but it came out the same time as Carousel, I thought. And Carousel, when I was a teenager, that was one of my favorite movies. I really love Shirley Jones. I think most of the men out there, too, also love Shirley Jones. She was so pretty, too, right? She's still alive. Yeah, her marriage is still going good, too. She married a comedian, right? Oh, okay. Oklahoma, yes. Oh, what a sad movie. Wasn't that sad? Right? When he dies and gets shot and he dies. Yeah, that was a sad movie, but it was a good one. It was a good one. Oh, okay. Yeah, my sister, she collects Gary Cooper paraphernalia, right? No World War II movie for you, eh, Dave? Sound of Music. That was a good one. I wasn't a big a fan as most people were on that one, but I did love the musicals. I did love the musicals. I loved Debbie Reynolds, the Debbie Reynolds movies, and I loved Danny Kaye, and I loved Maureen O'Hara, but she didn't do musicals, but I loved Maureen O'Hara. Did you guys know that Maureen O'Hara is still alive? Did you guys know that? She's 93. She's 93 years old now, I think. But yeah, she lives in Hawaii. Yeah. Maureen O'Hara. She used to do all the Westerns with John Wayne. She did How Green Is Your Valley with Roddy McDowell. That was his name, Roddy McDowell. I really liked Roddy McDowell too, right? Right? Shirley Jones from the Partridge Family. You're at 100%. Uh-huh. Wasn't she? Wasn't she? And she was a beautiful lady. Well, her last movie that she did with John Candy, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right? I think that's was her last movie, that her big movie where she actually starred in. I could be wrong on that, but I think that was the case. She did a cameo in that movie. She played John Candy's mother in that movie. But yeah, she's retired. She lives in Hawaii. Well, I guess you retired, right? 93 years old. She would be retired. Maybe she's even 94 years old now. Yeah. I've been keeping update because they always do a big thing when it's her birthday. They always do a big thing for her on Twitter, right? And send her out birthday wishes and everything. So I know she hasn't passed yet. And you know it will be big news. Well, right, when she does pass, it'll be big news because she's like one of the very last of those movie stars from that era, right? One of the big name movie stars. There's not too many left, right? Like Lauren Bacall, she's still alive, Lauren Bacall. And what other big stars are still living? Not too many, right, for the actresses. Oh yeah, I like Betty Davis too. I like Betty Davis too. Maureen O'Hara, Betty Davis, Katharine Hepburn, right? When she was with Spencer Tracy. And some of the great actresses I really liked. The lady from Gone with the Wind. What was the lady Scarlett who played Scarlett? What was her name? I really liked her as an actress too. She was a British actress. Most people don't know that she was British because she actually played a Southern belle in Gone with the Wind, but in actuality she was British, right? So she just had a really good American accent. Yeah, Vivian Lee, right? Yeah, Vivian Lee. Okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a little short one today. We're going to shut this down 5 minutes early because my neighbor is ready for a chit chat. So yeah, you never know. He might have the solution for me tonight because yeah, I got to work on something. I got to work on something real soon because now I've got to protect my possessions, right? Because I can't lose my possessions either. There's a few things that I just couldn't bear losing, right? There are a few things I just couldn't bear losing. I always thought that Shirley Jones was absolutely beautiful, and she had a beautiful voice too, right? Yeah, and she always seemed to be like too young looking to be the mother of the Partridge Family kids, right? Especially when David Cassidy was practically an adult, right? When he did that series. Yeah. I was a fan of David Cassidy, but I was a more of a fan of his friend Sean Cassidy. Sean Cassidy was more my cup of tea. Actually, my sister was a big fan of Sean Cassidy. Okay, everybody, have a great night. if I'm still here and things are going okay, we'll see you on Wednesday night. We'll do a live on Wednesday night. I haven't heard from my boss yet, so I'm going to assume I'm not back at work yet. So it's another week off. So yeah, I hope everybody has a great week. I hope everybody stays safe. And yeah, I hope the numbers don't get high. I hope everybody paid attention and tried to stay real safe during that Thanksgiving. And I really hope that everybody had a nice day, that it had a nice memory attached to it at the very least, right? Something nice to look back on. Okay, everybody, we'll see each other Wednesday or Sunday. Let's hope Wednesday. Have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.